Oh, hello everybody out on Facebook. How are you? It's me, Sean, again, back with another weekend edition of Fireside Chat. So here's the deal. The ambiance is not quite the same because I'm going to enjoy my Friday night, so I wanted to do Fireside Chat a little bit earlier. It's difficult to tell, but there is in fact fire. I am in fact beside it, and I will in fact be chatting. And hopefully, I know what time is it now. It's 5 o'clock Central Standard Time right now. Greg, hello, how are you? Welcome back. Kevin Billings, Texas Biker Chef, thanks for joining. So, what would a fireside chat be without a fine glass of Merlot? Cheers. We're going to ring in the weekend a little early. Guys, and I've got to tell you, if you haven't had it yet, and I promise there's no paid endorsement here, the Monroes up in New England, thanks for joining. Kimberly on the couch, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Don't laugh. They hear you. Where was I? I don't. Hang on. Yes, I'm not getting any kickbacks here, but I do want to point out that if anybody would like an inexpensive and delicious bottle of Merlot, this Yellowtail Merlot is one of the best. It's a product of Australia, and there's a hopping kangaroo on the front. So if you see that, I highly recommend it. Laurent, how are you, sir, up in Canada, the Great White North? Cheers to you. We're back to Merlot today. No scotch. Kelly Kitt, good to see you. Hey, Kelly, I hear what you're saying, and you're not the first to chastise me here publicly on Fireside Chat for my choice of beverage. We're going with Merlot. We're saving cab for more significant events. Okay, so what I want to talk about today, and who doesn't want to tune in on a Friday afternoon to Fireside Chat to talk about something other than the brain? Yes, the brain. So, past Fireside Chats, we've dressed up a little bit, had some fun. One time I painted my face like Gene Simmons of Kiss. Just last week, to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, we had on a ridiculous looking leprechaun hat and beard. But since the topic was the brain, I've made a far-fetched attempt to look studious by wearing my glasses to this episode of Fireside Chat. So, with that, cheers. So we're going to talk about the brain. And why are we going to talk about the brain? We're not just going to talk about the brain, for the sake of the brain. But really what I want to talk about is the brain, the adult brain, and changing and modifying our behaviors. So there was a psychologist from Harvard many decades ago by the name of William James, and he had done a lot of the research around what they call new psychology or modern psychology. A lot of studies around the brains and what we call neural pathways, right? And so neural pathways are basically how signals through the brain travel. So Tony King, good to see you. Tony, I think you're out in the Midland area now, right? Tony was in Houston when we grew up together. But anyway, back to the brain. So if you think about the brain and the way that it works, it's, as we all know, kind of the shape of the organ, and there's different sections of the brain that are responsible for different things: feelings, emotions, urges, fight, flight, that whole thing. So, but when we think about behaviors, think about, the best way I know how to describe it was the way that it was described to me is that there are electrical impulses or signals that travel through your brain, okay? And if you think, boy, I'm going back to Mr. Brevard. I think we're going back to like 7th grade science here. He'd be proud. But you have these nerve endings that are called axons, right? And then there's dendrites, which are the kind of the fingers. And then there's these chemicals that lay in between. And Kelly, I am an impulse. Anyway, it allows for electrical signals to travel like through a pathway. And so if you think about this, if you have a new experience or a new thought or a new behavior, the brain, think of it like a kind of a smooth organ that you're then kind of developing ruts in. So think about a drip of water kind of dragging across the window in your car. And now think about 10 of them uniting and having a bigger drip of water, right? And then maybe you've got, I don't know, like so you got a trickle, then maybe you have a stream, and then you have a brook, and then you have a river. That's kind of how your brain works. So the more that you do something, the more that you think a certain way or react a certain way or behave a certain way, that path or that stream becomes much more pronounced, and it becomes kind of your go-to behavior, right? Kelly Kitt says ipso facto. Are you Googling stuff, Kelly? But anyway, so why is that important? Well, so back to the research of William James. William James talked about that the brain is kind of like plaster, and that by the time that you're 30, that it somewhat has hardened. And what he meant by that is not that your brain becomes hard, but he meant that you're kind of set in your ways, the way you think, the way you process, the way you emote, the way you behave, right? If you think about your amygdala with fight and flight, the way that you kind of respond to stress is kind of set by about the time you're that age. Ted Latham in Florida, good to see you. Rob, you're, I think, calling in from Illinois, right? Or popped in from Illinois. So anyway, with that being said, I'm sitting here guessing, right? Everybody do me a favor, down in the comments section, type in, where you're joining in from, if you don't mind. That's interesting for everybody to see, and it helps me kind of understand where people are popping in from. But, so Sean, why are you telling me all this, right? Oh, by the way, further research was done, and it actually isn't 30 years old. It's actually more like 25 years old that these things become a bit more set in how our brains behave, right? And so one example of that might be my propensity to reach over for my Merlot. And Kelly Kitt and Laurent, I don't even know that you're going to save me at this point from my personal preference. Perhaps my axons and dendrites have been such a well-worn path to Merlot that it's going to take some effort for me to redirect to a Cabernet Sauvignon. The missus likes the Pinot Grigio. You didn't let me finish, you naughty viewers. Pinot Grigio. So look, here's the deal. Here's why we're talking about this. Because there are times we as adults need to change our behaviors. We need to modify our behaviors. We need to change the way that we think about things. So, great example, myself. I've completely gone into a different choice of careers, okay? So, which is a bit scary, a little bit nerve-wracking, a little bit frustrating at times. And that is me kind of grappling with, the last 20 years of doing kind of my routine the same way, the way I think about business the exact same way, the way that I communicate the exact same way. I'm really having to modify and change my behaviors, right? Dean, down in Florida, good to see you, man. Thanks for being on. So, what the research tells us now is that after that age of 25, is that it isn't, in fact, plaster, right, where it's hardened and set, but it does take a hell of a lot more to modify those behaviors. And I mean, a significant amount, if we can use a psychological term. Jim Hawkins, how are you, sir? Popping in from Memphis. Thanks for being on. And I don't know if Vanessa's with you. Vanessa, I hope you're well. So the point is you need to challenge your brain, right? So what are some of the ways that we can do that? And I don't know if you guys, my phone's recording me right now, so I want to reach for it. So instead I'll reach for my Merlot. Anyway, glasses aren't helping. So the point is there's some apps out right now that are pretty slick that kind of help challenge you. I don't know if you guys have seen them. Copyright infringement won't allow me to mention the names. I made that up just because I forgot them. But the point is that they'll help you practice it and give your brain a workout, right? So it's almost like you're taking your brain to the gym. It's pretty cool. Some other things that you can do is you can challenge yourself to learn a new language. You can challenge yourself to learn a new instrument, or like I said, on a more daily, kind of rigor. If you find yourself like in a situation like me, I'm having to change my behaviors. I'm having to, my whole routine changed. My whole life changed with this decision. Laurent, I'm going to lean in and read what you've put here. Look up Dr. Joe Dispenza, great info online. He has studied this for a while. I certainly will. Thanks for sharing that. So anyway, that is, why is that important? Well, because again, unless you just want to go through life and go, hey, about the time I'm 25 that I've got to ride the wave in and that I can't possibly challenge or reinvent myself or learn new things, I don't know that that's any way to live. Kind of an Animal House quote just came to mind. Animal House quote, that's no way to live. Tony King, I'm going to challenge you. What's the Animal House quote that's going through my mind right now? Type it in there down in the comments section for me. So do me a favor. I kind of want to get a gauge on the audience right now. Who feels like that? Well, first of all, if you're over the age of 20 years old, type a 1 down in the comments section for me. Just a quick one. And I promise we're not going to do anything with this. We're not going to make any employment decisions based on what y'all put on here. Heather, how are you? Boomer Sooner. So if you are over the age of 25, based on that research, that one bubble, drop a 2 down in the comments section for me. If you're over the age of 30, which was that second window, drop a 3 down in there for me. And if you're 40 or above, we're all kind of in the same boat on that. Do me a favor, type a 4 down in the comments section. And then lastly, if you feel like that you're in a point in your life where it is a bit more challenging for you to learn things or remember things or stay focused on things, then type a number 6 down in that comments section for me. Tony King says he's dropping 4 while dropping a deuce. I don't even know what to say to that, so I'm going to have some Merlot while we all embrace the awkward silence, Tony. Wow. He hears you. Okay, so here's the deal. So what can we do about it? We talked about it. A couple apps out there that you can try. Check those out. I do like 2 of them. I'm kind of competitive. Little bit. So I do, I kind of compete against myself on those things. And it's pretty cool. A lot of them will have these statistical trackers and it'll show you when you've bested your own score. It'll also kind of compare you to your demographic, how you perform relative to them in terms of your brain activity. Pretty slick. And then as I said, obviously you can try to pick up an instrument, learn a language, and you're going to gauge your own progress that way. But all good activity, all good exercise for your brain. But there's also things that you can take to help with that. There's herbs, there's supplements, there's vitamins that you can consume through your diet. And guys, your diet is absolutely enormous. And so One, you don't want to eat a bunch of crap, right? Any computer programmers out there might have heard the term GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. Kind of same thing with your body. If you're putting crap into your system, in terms of your performance, efficiency, and efficacy, you're probably going to get crap out. Yes, Tony is a prime example, right? They hear you. I'm live. And now the dog. Now the dog thinks it's okay. Clearly, we've got a little behavior modification that needs to happen right here in the Parker household. Okay. Anyway, so there, your diet, right? So there, just eat well, right, is the first thing. But there's other things that you can do to supplement, and supplementation is key. I'm supplementing my diet right now with grapes. But in terms of the brain, I don't know if grapes are good for the brain or not. I know it's not good for headaches in excess, but anything in moderation, real nice. So, Robert Gorman, discipline does start at the home. I don't know where you're going with that, but I'm going to agree with it in general. There is, well, as a matter of fact, I've got a product that I'm holding in my hand right here. And what this does is it's supposed to help with memory, focus, sustained attention, cognitive effort, reaction times, right? And so the key active ingredient to help with that is it's called citicoline. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I Googled it to make sure, and Google gave me like 3 different pronunciations, and I might have the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Okay, I'm going to be really impressed with that quote. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Whoever can name that movie and the star that said it, I'm going to mail you a free bottle of this. And no cheating, don't Google it, right? You got to know. And if somebody can tell me what movie that's from, I'm going to mail you a free bottle of this product that we're talking about. But citicoline is the key active ingredient. Again, it's supposed to help with sustained attention, cognitive efforts, as well as reaction time. So as a matter of fact, Kim, okay, you have permission to be loud right now. Try to get my attention real quick.
Hey, Sean.
What? That wasn't fast. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do something that we've never done before on Fireside Chat. Shh. Okay, back to quiet. Shh. I'm sorry. We're going to do something that's never been done before. I don't even know that it's been done online, period. I mean, we're really putting ourselves out there. Hold on. Kevin Doyle, I think you're dialing in from Austin, Texas. Boomer sooner. Anyway, we're going to test citicoline. All right, we're going to put it to the test right here live. Here it is. Okay, so there it is. Kim.
Hey, Sean.
All right, guys, this stuff doesn't work immediately. It takes a little time to absorb, which I would like to point out, the particular product that we have has a liposome delivery system in it. And you might be like, well, what are liposomes? Well, liposomes, basically it mimics a cell in the human body. So your body recognizes the transference of nutrients as friendly. Whereas most vitamins and minerals that you might take are going to go through your digestive tract. So you're only going to get about 5 to 15% absorption, because most of it's going to be flushed out through your digestive tract. But liposomes, they deliver at the cellular level, so it's much more efficient, and you're going to get about 90% absorption. So Well, it's not instantaneous. This product does have a liposome delivery technology, which is patented. So I'm going to get about 90% of it. So now let's try it again. Kim tried to get my attention. What? See, she didn't even ask, and I reacted. That's how fast that stuff works. As a matter of fact, just earlier I was trying to learn a scale on the guitar, and that's a damn miracle, guys. I could not do that, I swear to goodness, at the beginning of Fireside Chat. That would not have happened. It's a damn Christmas miracle. And it's not even Christmas. Guys, I can't tell you how enjoyable these Fireside Chats have been for me. I feel closer to you guys. I hope in turn you feel closer to me. I love it. Play more. You're right here. Oh my gosh. Guys, first, I don't know if you're in the Tulsa area, we got some poor weather that's coming in. We've got high winds, possible tornadic activity. So we're buckling down. We've got a couple of bottles of Merlot and we're ready to hit the in-ground. Heather. We're ready to hit the in-ground storage shelter just in the event, pardon me, that tornadic activity comes through. Just say a small prayer for the Parker clan, for those of us in Tulsa that we have fine weather, and that we don't find ourselves down there for the evening, because if so, guys, we're at high risk of hammering through multiple bottles of Merlot, and that's not going to be good. Okay, so say a little prayer for me. But in all seriousness, guys, it means a lot to me that people do pop on here and listen to what the heck I'm talking about here. We try to have a little bit of fun, but we do try to impart a little bit of wisdom. So everything I said scientifically, thank you, Tony, is true. I mean, I actually did do the research. Everything is true about this product right here. Again, if anybody does answer the trivia question, again, put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Whoever can name the movie and the artist, I'm going to send a free bottle of Neuro your way. And this really does have the active ingredients to help improve and sustain your cognitive ability, right? So again, kind of the no Aerosmith and no Stairway to Heaven. Name that movie, somebody. Tell you what, if somebody can name that movie, No Stairway to Heaven, then I will send you a bottle of sleep. Okay? All right. So, where was I? Clearly, I need my cognitive... Oh, yes, my cognitive abilities. The liposomes have kicked in. I'm very focused. I did want to say thank you for everybody who's calling in, and hopefully you guys are gaining some knowledge from this stuff. But as I said, the ingredients in this, acetylcholine, the other active ingredients in Neuro do help with all the things that I mentioned. And why does that all matter? It matters because we have life after 25. We do have life after 30, right? We don't want to be stuck in our ways. More and more and more, with people retiring at a later age and being expected to do more with less, and as the technology bubble is on the upswing, right, and our careers are kind of heading on the downswing, we're still expected to keep up and perform and learn at that level. So I don't know, that being said, who can't afford to eat healthier, to supplement, and again, to do those practice exercises that I'm talking about with the apps. Those things are fantastic. I can't say it enough. But again, challenge yourself. Challenge learning a new language. Challenge yourself to learn an instrument. Challenge yourself to learn the alphabet. You know, these are all things that are really, really important that we can be doing. Brett Boucher, up in New England, Connecticut. How you doing? Anyway, guys, just one more political plug here. After the asshattery in our Senate and House today, I'd just say Willie for president, problem solved. I think we can all agree on that, right? No. I love you. Happy weekend from Fireside Chat. Everybody head out and pour themselves a fine glass of Merlot. Cheers.